Hi gang, I'm going to show you how to do a watermark and add a border to your photograph in this quick little video. You might be like, how do I even make a watermark? Well, there's a whole bunch of tutorials out there, so I'm not going to reinvent the wheel on that. You can go check it out. Here in Google, I just typed in watermark Photoshop, and it brings up all of these options. Knowing what I know, Fleurn always has great tutorials and great ways to do things, so they're like the second one here. But as I say, Fleurn is great. That doesn't mean you shouldn't go and explore some of these others. You might find something you like. Photoshop Essentials is generally pretty good as well. But what I use, if I click over to this next one, I use a panel for Photoshop. It's called Watermark for Photoshop CC. And basically, it has a little interface. You type in what you want, and it adds the watermark for you. It's nice, it's simple, it's easy. There's a paid version and a free version. I use the free version. I keep thinking I should upgrade to the paid version because it does a few more things, but I haven't needed to yet. And, you know, why spend more money? So I'm just going to use the free version, and I'm going to show you what to do. So I'm going to click over here to Photoshop, and here's the image. It's already processed. It's at my original size. I've saved it as my master file with my layers. Now, you can see I'm in history because I went back a little bit. So there's my two layers. I used Nik Silver Effects to create my black and white. And I love that program. So you can use things outside of Photoshop as well, such as the panel, Nik, and On1, whatever you guys want to use. So the first thing I'm going to do, this is my original size photograph. I need to resize it. I need to add the white border and I need to add the watermark. So that's going to be a lot of clicking around in Photoshop. So to make my life easier, I like to automate things. And that's what I want to show you how to do today. So I'm going to create an action so I can just hit one button to do these things because it's a repetitive task, something that's done over and over again from the same size of images. So to do that, I need to go to my Actions panel. And if your Actions panel isn't available, it's this little arrow here, just go up to the window and grab your Actions panel. And we're only going to do simple actions here. Okay? You can see I already have a bunch of sizing apps in here, but I'm just going to click on my folder where all my sizing happens. And I'm going to come down here to the bottom of the panel and click on this new action, create new action icon. Now everything I do is going to be recorded, so I don't want to do anything that I don't want recorded. And if I do something, if I make a mistake, it's best to quit the action, throw it out, and start again. I found that editing them, even though they say you can do it, somehow it just never quite works the same. So I'm going to call this one 2048, if I can type, 2048 square border. Okay, so and it helps if I don't type at. There we go. 2048. And to read it a little better, I'm going to put a little underscore there, square border. So once I hit OK, everything I do is going to record. So let's start. So I'm going to hit OK. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to Image, and I'm going to go to Canvas Size. I want to extend the canvas. And I'm going to type in 1 and 1 and relative. So what I'm hoping for is to create about what visually appears to be about 1/4 of an inch border around it of white. So I need to come down here to my extension color for my canvas, and you have options. Choose white. Oops, I gotta type in 1 there too. 1 and 1. Now we're ready to go. Well, I said 1/4 of an inch. Why am I typing in 1? Well, let's click OK and you'll see. So it might have given me an inch all the way around, but it appears to be 1/4 of an inch, and that's what I want, so it doesn't look too big, too small, and I'll be able to add my watermark into the white area at the bottom. So that's the first step. And I did this to my original size image. So now I need to resize the image for Facebook or Instagram. So 2048 pixels is what I would like the size to be. So I'm going to come up here to Image again, and I'm going to go to Image Size. And in here, I'm going to type in 2048. And because I have my height and width linked, it updated together, and I'm going to hit OK. So now my image is 2048 pixels, which is what I want. And I'm going to close my action. Now, why didn't I include the watermark into this? Because the watermark is like a third party off-brand, it doesn't work to include it in the action. I would try it if I had a different panel or a different action, it might work. If I paid for it, it might work. But the way it stands right now, it doesn't. So right now I'm ready though to use the Watermark panel, and it's the little W here. So once you download it, install it into Photoshop, follow the rules or the instructions from the download page, you'll be ready to go. So I click on here, and you can do single image or multiple images. However, multiple images, I'm not sure if they work for the free version. I seem to always do it as a single image. But let me show you how I have mine set up. And this took me a minute. I ran this watermark 6, 7, 8 times till I got it to look the way I wanted to look. So I know I wanted my size of my font to be small. And I knew I wanted my position to be the bottom right corner. And my opacity, I'm about 48%. I can, change this on the fly if I want. So that can change. Now the spacing is what took me so much time. So I have it spacing is a 10 for the vertical and 65 for the horizontal. So that means it's going to come in 65 pixels and up from the bottom by 10 pixels. If I go to source, I typed in my copyright information. So type in your name, the copyright symbol, and the year. The copyright on a Mac is Option G. On a PC, it's Alt 0169. And you can pick any of your fonts that you'd like. This is one of my favorites. I picked my font color as black. And when I go back over here to size and position, the opacity is I change that so it goes from black to gray. So I generally start it in the middle. And sometimes I don't like the gray. Sometimes I want it to be black. Sometimes I want it to be white, but not white on a white border. I wouldn't be able to see it. So if I hit add watermark, boom, there it is. But take note. Here's this file. If I come over here, this is the file that I sized. So it creates a second file. And I'm going to do a save. Shift, Command S. And I'm going to title it so I know what it is. 2048 underscore WM, so I know that I have my watermark on it. I want to upload it to social media, so I'm going to save it as a JPEG. And I'm going to hit save. But it already has one there, so I already did this as practice. So I'm going to hit cancel for a second, and I'll just put an A after it. And if I hit save, it should work. JPEG options, I always go for 10. You do not need 12. 12 is twice the size as a 10. 10 gives you all the quality of a 12 according to our friends at Adobe. So don't fill up your hard drive with JPEGs at 12. Just leave it at 10 and you'll be happy. Hit OK. And now you're ready to post to social media. I should probably show you how to run that action now that you created it. So here's another image, full size. I'm still working on it, but that doesn't matter at this point to show you how this works. So you need to go to the Actions panel again. This time we're not creating the action, we're just playing the action. So these were all my actions if you remember. So here's my square 2048 border. Remember before I had to go up to the menu and change the size and change the border. This time we're just going to come right here, select the action we want to play, and hit the play button, which is the little arrow at the bottom of the panel. And wow, it's done. It was that quick. Then I can come right over here to my Watermark panel, click on it, open it up. I've already done all the placement of everything, so I can just hit add watermark, and there it is. So it's that quick once you get this stuff set up. So your workflow will be speedy. I hope this little video helps, and you've got lots of options out there, so get playing.